Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson, and available wherever fine podcasts can be found. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. It does help the show.
No, just don't hit it. Smash it.
Smash the subscribe button and smash that notify bell while you're at it. If you're listening to us on an audio podcast, be sure to leave us a rating, review, or a comment. It really helps boost the exposure to the show. Of course, this is Matt Chat, where we take $20 and up patrons, let them chime in and give us questions in the form of video or text, and then we answer them right here on the show.
Yeah.
It's awesome. You can participate, too, on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. If you don't feel like kicking in $20, that's great. You can kick in $1, and you still get a lot of cool stuff. $1. But this is Matt Chat. We've got questions to answer from our patrons. Let's see what they have to say. First up, we've got the Enforcer, Stevie Bradley. Let's see what he has to say.
Hi, Steve and Larson.
What's up, guys? It's the Enforcer here with the Matt Chat question. Now, I want to talk about the Universal Championship match at the Royal Rumble. Now, for whatever reason, we got a change up here, and we got Finn Balor challenging Brock instead of Braun. For whatever reason it may be, but that's another topic for another time. What I do want to talk about is Finn Balor. What are the chances that we get Demon Balor at Chase Field in front of 40-something thousand people? And if so, is that almost a shoo-in that we get a new Universal Champion at the Royal Rumble? Because as far as I can recall, only one time has Demon Balor lost, and that was in a steel cage match to Samoa Joe in NXT. So let me know, what are the chances of Demon Balor, and what are the chances, if we do get Demon Balor, that he wins it? Let me know your thoughts, guys. Too sweet, and a hearty handshake.
Thank you, Enforcer.
Thank you,
your
Enforcer.
Computerized female friend.
That was a well-lit Matt Chat question.
Yeah, very imposing.
What's this well-lit?
Well, like it was all like
It was red in the back.
That's imposing.
Oh, okay.
It's like
ominous.
He's hanging out with Lava Man.
Ominous. Anyways, I think he was creating a vibe for Demon Balor.
Yeah, there you go. No, man. Here's the thing. I don't even think WWE cares about Demon Balor anymore. They seem to be all in on just Man Balor. I would love. When's the last time we saw it? He was gonna show up? Pumpkin Balor was
no, he showed up once after that against Baron at SummerSlam.
Oh, this past SummerSlam?
Yeah. He beat Baron in about 2 minutes.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how much WWE really cares about Demon Balor. Here's the thing. Given that WWE doesn't really care too much about, I'm not going to say that. They have a role for Balor. And when he's the demon, he kind of has to win. So because they haven't really, over the past couple months, cared too much about him winning, besides, of course, this Rumble thing, that's kind of why we haven't seen the demon. He'll only appear if it's a guaranteed win. And it's like a huge title match. And even then, I'm not even sure. I don't know how much they care about the demon, to be honest with you. It's a good story tool for them to use if they need to kick up a notch in a rivalry. But they haven't needed to do that with him because he's not in any real rivalries. So,
no, I think WWE cares about the demon a great deal.
Really?
Demon Balor might be the most protected wrestler in all of WWE.
He's so protected you never see him.
Because they don't want him to lose as Demon Balor. You know why they care about Demon Balor? Demon Balor moves merch. All sorts of Demon Balor stuff, at least for a while. It was on shirts and stuff.
All right.
Selling merch, moving those T-shirts and merchandise items, memorabilia.
Yeah, memorabilia.
Making money for the company. So in that sense, yes, they care about Demon Balor, but they're not going to overexpose Demon Balor, and definitely not going to put him out there in a situation where he's going to take a loss, at least not anytime soon. So because of all that, everything we've read so far about why Braun got replaced by Finn at Rumble leads me to believe that Finn has basically no shot of winning the match. Therefore, we will not see Demon Balor. Because if Demon Balor shows up at Rumble, he kind of has to win.
Wouldn't it make sense, though, for Finn to say, hey, this is for the Universal Championship.
I'm going to put forth my best effort. I'm going to channel Demon Balor because it makes me more powerful, so I have a better chance to win. Totally, 100% would. It make all the sense in the world. However, kayfabe, yes. Shoot-wise, no. Because Finn's going to take that L.
They should at least write some storyline reason why he can't always just summon it whenever he wants to, though.
Yeah.
It saps too much of my bodily fluids. I need them to smash.
Maybe he loses to Brock, gets the airbrush thing done real quick, and is number 30 in the Rumble.
Yeah,
29. Sorry, because R-Truth is 30 in the Rumble.
There you go. That's a great way to sell Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I guess. So, anyways, 2% botch that Finn Balor wins at the Rumble.
You know what? I'm going to go as high as 5% that Balor wins because Vince has been known to change his mind on a couple things. So, okay, let's put it this way. What would have to happen for, and barring injury to Brock Lesnar?
The only thing that could happen that would lead Finn to win is if that was Brock's last match.
Yeah.
That would be it.
You know what it could be? Let me ask you this. Let's say tomorrow, and God, I hope this doesn't happen, Seth Rollins gets an injury that puts him out for a year. Who'd be the guy at Mania to beat Brock? Wouldn't at that point have to be Demon Balor? He has a regular match against regular Balor at Rumble. Whoever wins the Rumble would be a SmackDown guy, which would then kick up Balor to say, okay, let me do the Demon.
Yeah, that would work.
Maybe that would work. Moving on from Graham, let's see what Graham has to say. He's also talking about some Rumble action here.
Rumble stuff.
Yeah.
Hi Steve, hi Larson. My question this week is, it looks kind of obvious that Seth's going to win the Royal Rumble, but I don't know about the Women's Royal Rumble, and I want each of you to pick a dark horse for the Men's and the Women's Royal Rumble, someone that you think could win, but not a lot of people think will win. Too sweet, Harry handshake.
Thank you, Graham.
Thank you, Graham.
I'm going to stick with my early kind of low odds pick to win the Rumble, Mustafa Ali. He's already pinned Daniel Bryan once in a tag match. Daniel Bryan attacked him. Once Daniel Bryan finishes up his can't think of his last name, AJ Styles storyline.
AJ Bryan, yeah.
AJ Danielson. AJ Styles storyline at Rumble. He's free to do other things. He refocus his attention on Mustafa Ali. He hasn't really won. I don't think he's won him. No, because he was in the losing end of the tag match when he and Ray tagged together. He got attacked viciously by Joe on SmackDown this week. But I think that's a really good opportunity to really build up the underdog character of Mustafa Ali in a Samoa Joe feud. Wins the Rumble. Has this feud with Joe after Rumble. Really building up as an underdog. Wins that feud heading into Mania. Take on Daniel Bryan for the WWE title. On the women's side, Ember Moon. If they decide to do a triple threat, Charlotte, Becky, Ronda, main event at Mania, it really opens up the Women's Rumble field. There's a lot of people who could win. Ember would be my pick because she would then say, okay, Asuka, I have unfinished business with you. Going back to NXT, we're going to go at it at Mania, have a match.
All right.
Story's there, and I think Ember Moon is good enough. She's definitely good enough, and she's popular enough that match would not be on the pre-show.
My dark horse candidate for winning the Men's Rumble, this is like super not going to happen, but the New Day. They were one of the first, if not the first, on SmackDown to declare that they're going to be in the Rumble. That doesn't really mean a lick of nothing, but I can't think of an act that is more 180 degrees away from Daniel Bryan's current ideologies. The new Daniel Bryan is like the New Day are all about consumerism and eating crap food. And well, think about all the merch that they have. They have like a new shirt every other week.
I know, Bootios. Yeah, I get you. I understand what you're saying.
They got the pancakes that they're shoving in people's mouths. It's apparently not going to be doing anymore, but you can kick that back up to hot dogs. Could you imagine the kind of like, innuendo Big E could pull off with hot dogs? I mean, it's pretty obvious. Hot dogs look like, members. So, and on top of that, like you had that one little Easter egg segment during that stand-up meeting where They were eating meat right in front of Daniel Bryan. I think Daniel Bryan, in particular, would be tickled to work with all three of those guys sort of as one act. Eventually, it ended up being Big E versus Daniel Bryan. And what a match that could be.
That'd be phenomenal.
Mania.
Phenomenal.
That'd be phenomenal. That'd be so great.
All right. Who's your pick in the Women's Rumble?
Mandy Rose. I think WWE really likes her. And
I think you're right.
And that's always a good thing, you know. That's always Mandy. She's like who's going to argue with 1 million views on YouTube, the highest watched clip from SmackDown this week by far. I think Mandy Rose. I think they really like her.
All right.
I think she, let me ask you something. Who would you rather be right now, Mandy Rose or Sonya Deville?
I guess Mandy Rose.
Probably Mandy Rose. Although Sonya is supposed to have that match with Carmella this week.
Yeah, but that got cut.
Yeah, probably for the
Mandy Rose's segment didn't get cut.
Right, exactly. So there you go. But Sonya Deville's pretty great.
She's awesome.
The thing about Mandy Rose, though, is that does that have a limited ceiling? The sort of oversexed stuff.
Yeah.
You probably. So maybe you want to be Sonya Deville.
Long-term Sonya Deville, yeah.
Long-term, maybe Sonya Deville.
I think she's crisper in the ring.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I agree with
And her mic work's really good.
I like her a lot.
Yeah, Sonya Deville's great.
Ryan Rugani has a question about Mania. Let's see what he has to say.
Do you think with the women's tag titles being cross-branded that there's a chance that at WrestleMania will be the triple threat with Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda for unification of the women's titles to make them both cross-branded, which you could put like tag teams on SmackDown and singles competitors on Raw?
Thank you, Ryan Rugani.
Thank you, Ryan Rugani.
It's not a bad idea. I want to see how the women's tag titles play out above brand. There's a lot of fun stuff they can do with that. There's a lot of cool stuff. They can take them down to NXT, which is what I would be excited about. And they can show up sort of unexpectedly places. That's always fun. But I think the women's title stuff, I'm kind of still thinking what you sort of originally planned out, or what you sort of saw happening, where both neither Becky nor Ronda comes away from the Rumble as champions. I sort of see that playing out.
Sasha did throw up the four horsewomen sign in Ronda's face. Maybe she's teasing.
Could be
something to come.
So no, I think that I don't think that match. I don't think anybody should have a title there. I don't think it needs it. I think it's great without it. Although Vince, as we've seen with the Brock Goldberg stuff back in the day or a couple of years ago,
he likes to shock people.
He likes to have titles in big things. So that's a raising of the stakes, unification. Why don't you give us the case for unification?
My case is solely bases on one sentence in Cage Side Seats rumor report for Wednesday morning, which said there's talk of the brand split going bye-bye.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Especially with the Fox deal coming up. They don't have to satisfy two different broadcasters, try to make them happy with who's on the roster. So they'll bring the brands back together and just share talent across both brands.
If they book
that way, both USA and Fox gets the top names. No one has to feel left out because we don't get Ronda Rousey or Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns whenever he comes back. So why not kickstart all that by having unification bout for the women's title at Mania? Champ Becky versus Champ Ronda. Winner takes all.
If they booked it right, it'd be cool. Like NXT, how you don't see Aleister Black every week. You don't see Gargano every week. If they did that properly, you can have a roster as big as what they have and get away with ending the brand split.
What they can't do is what they did when they had the Raw Super Show, where everybody would show up there and then just the best people would show up on SmackDown. And you would just see the same people on Raw and SmackDown rather than...
Well, what you're saying is just get rid of the brand. You're saying they can't get rid of it.
No, I'm saying if they're going to get rid of the brand split,
they're not going to turn SmackDown into a freaking clip show.
No, I know they're not. But the worry is that the same 25 talents will show up on Raw and SmackDown, rather than giving opportunities to people who might not, who get TV time now on SmackDown or Raw, who might not if they do.
What you'd have to do,
dual brand shows.
What you'd have to do,
one brand show,
is Ronda shows up on 2 Raws and 2 SmackDowns per month. Seth, same. You know, they would just have to schedule them out.
Yeah.
So that the storylines would make. I think that could be strong stuff. The women's division would definitely need a mid-card title or two at that point. You know, like make the U.S. title, I don't know, above gender, something like that. Somehow get it off. You know, I don't know who has it. Who has it right now?
U.S. title, Rusev.
Have Lana pin him for it. You know.
No, they can freebird it.
They can couples can freebird it. Or then at that point have a mixed tag title. That makes sense because people need to be chasing stuff, and creative over there is not good enough to have.
Yeah, without titles involved.
Titleless stories.
I know. Next, new match chatter, RB3.
RB3.
Let's see what RB3 has to say.
Hey, friendos. First time match chatter, Russell Bird III or RB3. Here with a question. Just wanted to know if you guys could go back on any NXT fan favorites careers and change the impact that they had on the main roster to make them big time names, who would you pick and who would you go back? How would you go about implementing their storylines on the main roster, whether it be Bo Dallas, Cesaro, Sami Zayn, The Ascension? There's so many fan favorites from NXT that just never lived up to the hype on the main roster. How would you guys change that? Thank you, friendos.
Thank you, RB3, and welcome to Match Chat.
Welcome to Match Chat, absolutely.
Oh, I go first. Bob Roode. I know he wasn't a fan favorite. He wasn't a face.
He was a favorite of ours, man.
But he was a favorite of ours.
Yeah.
And I think people who appreciate really good work appreciate Bob Roode's work at NXT because it was glorious.
Yeah, man.
He was great. He was a heel, but he wasn't a cowardly heel. But he wasn't a monster heel either. He was a tactician, a strategist. And I always go back to his first match against Shinsuke Nakamura for the NXT title. He didn't shy away from a fight, but he knew when to pick his spots. He had a strategy going into that match, followed through on it, led to a win. He pushed Nakamura past the point where he was comfortable, and Nakamura costed himself the title because he injured his knee. Going too far, doing too much. I love that Bob Roode. Great on the mic. His stuff with Roderick Strong was mostly pretty funny.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Egging him on. That was all great stuff. And then he shows up on SmackDown on his debut, and he cuts pretty much a babyface promo, and I was like, oh, this is, I don't like where this is going. He was smiling too much even then. And then, we were like, okay, maybe it's just a situation where they know he's going to get a face pop when he debuts because people love Bob Roode. Handle it that way after the first show, move on, do something interesting with him. No, he's been boring, smiling babyface Bob Roode ever since. Yeah. The most fun he's had in his year and a half on main is when he got to say urine.
Yeah, which is pretty funny.
That's been the high point for Bob Roode.
Well,
it's real easy.
Plus, he won the tag titles.
Yeah, high points when he said urine.
I think
they seemed to really enjoy
it.
They need to turn Bob Roode heel. Have them have a decent run as tag champs. Have Bob Roode turn on Chad Gable.
No, don't turn on him. I think Gable could be a terrific heel.
He can. I want Bob Roode to turn heel.
There's too many singles wrestlers, man. Have him be a great tag heel team.
Bob Roode needs to turn heel. I don't care if it's by himself or with Chad Gable. He needs to turn heel. He needs to go back to NXT Bob Roode. A layered character with motivation. Yeah, he never put CEOs in the front row, but I don't really care about that. Wrestling matches like he did in NXT. Primarily with this.
Headbutts.
Brain.
Brain. Okay,
Brain.
Right. Listen, there's one easy answer here. There's one completely simple answer here. Why didn't they have Neville just be Pac? Like that attitude, that heel. So why did it take them so long to let that dude just have his personality? Maybe one of the top 5 personalities in all of wrestling. They kept that from us until they put him on 205 Live. Are you kidding me? That guy was there the entire time. We had no idea. So that's how you do Neville, is just Pac.
Bastard Neville.
I have no idea if he was like that before his run in WWE or NXT. I never knew about him before then. I found out later on.
I wonder if it's a situation where they saw his moveset and they're like, oh, that's a babyface moveset. You're a babyface.
That could be. I don't know, man.
I don't know.
It's kind of dumb, though. He came out and he was just like, he didn't even talk. He wouldn't even talk.
And he's great.
And then as soon as...
holds the mic like this.
Now he's like...
It's fantastic.
Oh, man. Where was that guy? That's what we should have had the entire time. He'd be Universal Champion right now. He'd be the new Brock Lesnar.
He would be.
Moving on.
Pac Lesnar.
Pac Lesnar. There you go. You got it.
No, don't.
You got it. Pac
It's not
Lesnar.
good. No, it's not good.
Pac.
You shits. Next, Zenith 64. Let's see what Zenith has to say.
Salutations, friendos. So, Finn Balor made a surprise appearance and had a match at UK NXT Takeover. And my question is, pick 3 main roster stars that should have a takeover match of their own at a takeover this year. I'm sure maybe like a Seth Rollins, maybe another Finn Balor, a Kevin Owens when he comes back. But yeah, which 3 main roster stars do you think would have a killer NXT takeover match if the opportunity came? Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Zenith 64.
Thank you, Zenith. You go first.
All right, man. Listen to this lineup.
All right.
Because this is a great idea, man.
This is a fantastic
somebody
idea.
Get me in front of Triple H. Say, look, give me 5 minutes of your time, okay? NXT should be your premier
wrestling destination. And you get a guy like Seth Rollins, you give him 3 months in Orlando, and a killer NXT takeover match. Now, you took Seth for part of your answer, so I left him alone. Here's what I got. Listen to this. All right.
And mine are kind of like, the first 2 especially, I think, are very doable. I didn't go after huge marquee names, right?
That's what you got to do.
Apollo Crews, who's a decent name on Raw. He's struggled to really get to take a good bite out of something, but you know that dude can probably put on just a stellar match. So I have him matched up with his friend in real life, Ricochet.
See, that's what really pushes this idea over the top because they're friends.
Yeah. Killer idea.
Great Twitter stuff back and forth during this feud.
Who doesn't love Twitter stuff? And then we've got 2 other guys who have a history together.
Yeah, the Kingdom and Ring of Honor.
How long were they together in the Kingdom?
I don't know.
Not long enough to make any sort of impact because I never heard about it.
And WWE would definitely not mention it.
But you get the Kanellises. You get Mike Kanellis and Maria Kanellis with her Twitter activity. And then they take on Adam Cole because they have a history, I guess. And then I've got, just today, Bayley told Shayna Baszler, quote, "Shut up." So you get Bayley versus Shayna Baszler as sort of a precursor. Maybe the 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen thing is like a series of matches.
Yeah, culminating in the 8-woman tag.
A big thing.
Yeah.
And the first of those can be Bayley versus Shayna Baszler.
See, you're close on that one.
Loser has to shut up.
Shouldn't
match.
be Bayley. It should be Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
I think that'd be perfect.
That'd be perfect.
Here's what I got. Seth Rollins versus Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso Ciampa fancies himself the greatest sports entertainer of all time. Seth Rollins gets the Universal title and says, I have a belt that says otherwise. They have match.
Good.
Next, AJ Styles versus Johnny Gargano. Best wrestler on Main versus best wrestler in NXT. Fantastic. 17-star match.
Yeah, great.
Next, I know they've had a match before, but I want to see this in NXT. Rey Mysterio versus Ricochet.
That'll happen.
Oh, yeah. That's what I want to see.
We'll hopefully get that next year.
Oh, we should.
2020, when Ricochet comes up. Next up, oh, man, living the gimmick, Cactus Jackie. What is she doing here? She's shoveling
snow.
Oh, man, I took one look at that. I was cracking up. Cactus Jackie has a question. This is something we get asked every year, I think. We always want to know what's going to happen. Let's see what we're talking about here with Cactus Jackie.
Hey, Stephen Larson. How will Kofi save himself from being eliminated from the Royal Rumble this year?
Thank you, Cactus Jackie.
Thank you, Cactus Jackie. Boy, it looks cold over there. Oh,
yeah.
Boy, oh, boy. Wow.
Yeah.
Snow, fan, yay or nay?
In limited amounts.
Yeah.
Like, I'll go to the snow. I'll visit. I'll play, have a snowball fight, make a snow angel, maybe do some sledding. That's the extent of it.
Yeah. Man, I got to take Bam into the snow. Anyways. So what's Kofi going to do?
Jetpack.
Okay, that works. So Big E's been playing with his breasts lately. A lot. Like, it's just more than normal.
All right.
It's like an obscene degree.
Yeah.
So something involving Big E's large pectoral muscles.
Could.
Could. How about this? I got it.
All right.
Big E, between now and the Rumble, he's so obsessed with his own bosoms that he starts wearing a manzia.
All right.
A bra, but for men.
Yeah.
And Kofi is on the what do you call it? It's a skin in the cat.
Yeah.
Right. He's on the precipice. He jumps up and he's got nowhere to go. Big E goes like this.
Catches him
with the brassiere.
Okay.
With the manzi.
All right.
And then and then he flexes.
See, I was gonna say that too. That he does the earthquake.
Yeah.
Flexes his pecs and propels Kofi back in the ring. See, we share a brain.
There you go. See, I like that. That's good, and it's comedic, and it's
because they used pancakes before. They had a platter of pancakes. That was last year, I believe. They landed on the pancakes.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's the
pecs.
The pecs. Propulsion.
Pec propulsion.
Pec propulsion. That's the
Pec-pulsion.
answer. That's the answer. Next, Devin the Dude. He has a question too.
He does have a question.
Hey, friendos, it's Devin the Dude here, back with another Mad Chat question. This week, I heard a rumor that Dean Ambrose will be facing EC3 at WrestleMania as a possible match. I want to know what you guys think of that. How will the build go? And kind of like, I don't know, it kind of, to me, is random. But, I mean, I don't know. Most WrestleMania matches sometimes have random matches that we don't see coming.
Thank you, Devin the Dude.
Thank you, Devin the Dude.
You want to go first?
Heck yeah, man. I'm down for this. Dude, listen. Here's the thing. Dean ain't going away. He ain't going anywhere. And he's a big name. He's a big deal. Let me ask you something.
What?
What would you rather see? EC3 in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal not winning it, or EC3
losing to Dean Ambrose?
Yeah. Yeah. Because he ain't winning either one, but one of them is a pretty big deal. I don't think they're going to put Dean on the kickoff again this year. I don't think they will.
I don't know, man.
EC3, he's going to surprise the crowd. I don't think Vince understands what he has with EC3.
I don't think he knows either.
I don't think he knows. Otherwise, he would have had an actual debut instead of all this weird miming stuff.
I know.
I'm down with this, man. I think this is good. That's a big feud.
It's stylistically in ring. It's not a good match.
Nah, well, EC3 is sort of. I mean, there's nothing.
It's
EC3 is just a wrestler.
I know. No, but I think that's my point. Is that EC3? He's just kind of a standard pace, kind of plodding wrestler who does a lot of power moves, and that's what Dean fancies himself these days. However, Dean isn't the power wrestler that most power wrestlers are.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of the in-ring stuff, it's going to be meh.
Yeah, that's.
And I feel like promo-wise, EC3 is great on the mic. Dean, when he wants to be or has good material, can be good.
Oh, I think it'd be good.
But I think that it's going to be a situation where there's just as many misfires as hits. I just don't think it's a good pairing. Not at all.
Oh, man, I think you're
It's
crazy.
better than EC3 having a match against Dolph Ziggler, but I just don't think it's a good pairing on paper.
It's better than a lot of other, maybe even, I know we've seen this, we looked up the rumor. It's out there. It's a legitimate rumor anyways.
Give me EC3 versus Baron Corbin. I'd rather see that.
Yeah, I'd rather see that too. That's totally a kickoff match though.
That's fine, but that's a win for EC3.
Maybe.
That'd be a win for EC3.
I don't know, man. I think you're underestimating what they think about Baron Corbin. He's only humiliated by one person. That guy's John Cena. Otherwise, they kind of like that guy.
Man, no, they like him. This is EC3, man. Come on.
Yeah. We'll find out though. I'd be down for. Look, man. If EC3's I'll put it this way. I don't care who it's with. If EC3's in a singles match at Mania, I think that's great.
No, it's a win for him.
Instead of just coming out, when is he going to talk?
I know.
Get that guy in the mic.
That's like his top skill.
Oh, dude,
he's a great talker.
And also body. That's a top skill.
Well, they've been utilizing that because they've been doing a lot of posing and flexing.
They have actually been utilizing that.
So,
smile really is his top skill.
Yeah,
smile.
Yeah,
with his messed up teeth of his, and his smile's all crooked and weird, but it's so sincere.
It is.
It's such a sincere. I've never seen anybody manage to pull off good-natured and supremely arrogant as well. Like when MJF, for example, over there on the indie circuit, MJF, he smiles. You want to punch his face. It's just all arrogance.
Yeah.
It's terrible, right? You hate that guy, which is great for him.
Yeah,
that's his job.
Bob Roode in NXT, same way.
Oh, but he's so good looking.
Oh, I know.
MJF is kind of ugly. EC3 is he's charmingly ugly. You know, he's not an ugly dude. He's a good looking guy. Super orange, which adds to the arrogance, and that crooked smile of his is so charming.
It can be.
It can be. Oh, he's the best, man. Anyways, Stephen M. This is a very interesting situation he's talking about here. A lot of weird things going on in Ring of Honor. Let's see what he has to say.
Ring of Honor, there's a deal with New Japan that's coming up soon, and New Japan are keen to work with Kenny still, and he's likely going to AEW. So if New Japan leave the Ring of Honor deal for AEW, should Ring of Honor sign a deal with WWE? I know it sounds a bit preposterous, but they have been collaborating and using footage from Ring of Honor for documentaries and stuff like that, and there is a huge Ring of Honor alumni in WWE. So if there was like an involved sort of deal with Ring of Honor and WWE where they traded talent and just kept each other going, would be a good idea. And won't argue for, won't argue against. Too sweet. Ready handshake.
Thank you, Stephen M.
Thank you, Stephen M.
Here's one reason WWE would not want this arrangement potentially, because they already have a Ring of Honor called NXT. The reason they utilize Evolve as kind of their NXT's NXT because it's a smaller promotion. They have smaller shows. There's
no TV.
I don't know. They might be on WWN.
Well, yeah, Ring of Honor has actual TV.
No, I know, but I mean,
yeah.
you can.
Well, everybody has YouTube.
Well, I mean, streaming service.
Yeah.
I think they're on a streaming
Yeah,
service.
yeah,
Anyways, I get your point. And yeah, they've seemed to kind of work together in terms of Ring of Honor letting WWE use footage that's mutually beneficial. WWE has content, and then Ring of Honor, I'm sure, gets paid handsomely for usage of their tape library. And also, people see, for most recent example, the Nigel McGuinness documentary, they see the clips of him wrestling in Ring of Honor, like, oh, I want to see more of this. Oh, Ring of Honor has a streaming service. I could subscribe to that and watch a bunch of old Nigel McGuinness matches. It works out great for Ring of Honor. As far as a talent sharing thing, I don't think so, because WWE is in the market for a lot of the talents that Ring of Honor wants to get themselves. I just don't see it happening. I just don't see WB wanting to pursue that, because they want to take their top talents, Ring of Honors that is, and send them to NXT. I guess it would benefit Ring of Honor, especially if they can get their tape library of the network. But then that would potentially mean the end of Honor Club, which I don't know what kind of revenue stream that is for them.
Probably a fairly substantial one, I would think.
So I don't know. It doesn't seem like a great fit. New Japan Ring of Honor is a good fit because it increases Ring of Honor's exposure overseas, and it does the same for New Japan here. Talent sharing makes sense.
Does Ring of Honor Ring of Honor? Number one, yeah. If Ring of Honor was offered some sort of partnership, talent exchange thing with WWE, obviously they'd want to say yes. They're
unless the terms are the same as all the promotions over in the United Kingdom, which is
yeah, they get to buy them.
Yeah. Another aspect, sorry to interrupt you, is that Ring of Honor just isn't owned by
Ring of Honor. Yeah,
yeah, it's owned by a huge media conglomerate.
Yeah,
that can complicate things, especially when they're talking about the larger television, the business.
Here's the thing, though. Does Sinclair even know they own Ring of Honor?
They do, because their CEO talked about it and recognized that they have not done enough to promote or fund the show.
And when he was talking about it, he kind of came off like a dude who just found out minutes before that they own Ring of Honor.
Possibly.
So he might be a big fan of WWE and be like, wow, we can do that? Really cool.
We have WWE too?
Right.
Well, it's called Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
But it's wrestling.
Wow.
Wrestling is WWE, right?
Can we work with WWE? Okay, so if you take that aspect, like, I don't know, like, chances, like, probably is not going to happen. Would Ring of Honor love this? Yeah, of course they would. Yeah. Here's the thing about Ring of Honor. They're in a very interesting situation right now because there's no guarantee that New Japan, although I think it's likely, there's no guarantee that New Japan if New Japan come whenever the deal with Ring of Honor, that's what
it must be like shortly after the MSG show.
I would think so.
Month of April, some point.
If New Japan was given an either or situation, work with AEW or Ring of Honor, they're going to choose probably All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah.
Because of the talent there.
Because of Kenny Omega.
Because of simply because of one person, Kenny Omega. Ring of Honor has been loading up on some fantastic talent. You mentioned some talent that WWE was going after, for example, Bandito. And I don't know if a similar arrangement between Ring of Honor and, for example, CMLL would be as beneficial to Ring of Honor. I don't know, because it's not like CMLL is trying to come over here to the States in the same manner that Ring of Honor or that New Japan has been. But they have some really good talent.
Ring of Honor just signed Rush.
And they just signed Rush.
Just signed Rush.
And Bandito as well.
Well, Rush is, he's a huge star in CMLL.
Where is Bandito? Wasn't Bandito?
Bandito, he was in Triple Mania.
Was he Triple A? Okay.
I don't know if he was full-time Triple A, but he was on Triple Mania.
Okay. So I don't know. I mean, would it benefit Ring of Honor? Absolutely. Would it benefit WWE?
They already have the Ring of Honor. They have NXT.
Yeah, I don't really know how. Like, here's the only situation I could see it happening. It's the only situation I could see it happening. WWE does another Cruiserweight Classic, and they say, "Hey, we'd love to see Bandito and
Jonathan Gresham."
Yeah. Over in the Cruiserweight Classic, we'll give you a couple guys. We'll give you an Apollo Crews and somebody else for one of your shows. What do you say?
Maybe.
But
a full-time working partnership, no.
Yeah, I because here's the thing: Ring of Honor and New Japan, that relationship was mutually beneficial. Like they were both. But WWE has nothing to gain from a similar relationship, so you're right. It would be hard to believe that would be the case. On top of that, like it's not like WWE kind of, I think, got everybody they wanted from NXT. I'm sorry, from Ring of Honor. I mean, think about it, just who they took.
Yeah.
I mean, the Undisputed Era, basically.
Yeah, with the exception probably of Jeff Cobb and I guess Bandito because they were trying to sign him. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know that did they actually try to sign Jeff Cobb?
I don't know if they could. Just the nature of Lucha Underground contract. I don't know if they could.
But I don't even know because he said that on his bucket list is NXT.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean there was obviously some period between Lucha Underground and Ring of Honor. I don't know. We never heard that they were trying to go after him. We heard about Bandito.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I don't know, man. If you could like,
it just seems like if he was able to sign with WWE and he wanted to go there or wants to go there, then why didn't he go there?
Yeah,
if he had the ability to sign with them.
Yeah.
So
I wonder. I wonder if that was just a matter of 6 months.
Oh, could be.
That could have been a difference.
Could be
because he gets out of his Lucha Underground contract, and WWE probably offers him a normal NXT contract, which is not that lucrative. Ring of Honor probably triples that at least.
Oh, at least.
At least, right? You wait 6 months, this All Elite Wrestling thing happens, WWE might be offering a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more.
And also All Elite Wrestling be offering probably
and they'd probably be offering a lot more too. I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's just you look at the timing of things and maybe. But would Ring of Honor love that? Yeah, I just don't see what's in it for WWE.
Not a whole lot.
Yeah.
Next, a question from
the Dope family.
Yeah.
Let's take a look.
What's up, friendo? Mrs. Dope here and Dope Jr. What do you guys think the odds of AJ Lee coming back during the Royal Rumble? Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Dope.
Mr. Dope has assembled maybe the most adorable family unit I've ever seen in my entire life. Absolutely adorable. Anyways, Mrs. Dope wants to know, what are the chances of AJ Lee returning for the Rumble? So here's the situation where it could happen, all right? She gets in her car, morning of the Rumble, looking for...
she has a book signing.
She has a book signing to go to.
Even though her book came out a couple of years ago.
She's trying to get to a Barnes & Noble. And she's driving around. Oh, where is it? Oh, what's that giant, massive building right there? Wait, where is the Rumble?
Chase Field.
Chase Field.
This is what it is. She gets in the car, or she calls a Lyft.
Yeah.
And there's a Barnes & Noble in the same general vicinity as Chase Field.
Yeah, okay.
And so she gets one number wrong on the address. It's Chase Field instead of the Barnes & Noble.
Yeah, okay.
And so the Lyft driver takes her to Chase Field. And she's like, Chase Field? What am I doing here? I don't see a Barnes & Noble.
Maybe it's through this tunnel right here.
And then she sees like one of her WWE friends are getting to the arenas, and she's like, "Oh, AJ, come here, come over here."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, I got a book signing." Okay, fine. She walks in to see her friend.
Yeah.
Sees a bunch of her friends, and then like Mark Carano comes up and says, "AJ Lee, what are you doing here? Did you we re-sign you?" And she's like, "No, I just visited." And he cuts her off and says, "Oh, you want to be in the Women's Rumble? You go on in like 25 minutes."
Yeah. And then she says, "Yes, Mark." That's good. That's the only. Yeah, I mean, dude, look. Let's not. That place would erupt.
Oh heck yeah, man!
The roof would come off.
I would love to see it happen.
Building,
I would love to see it happen.
Roof would come off.
AJ Lee is great.
Yeah, she's fantastic. However, and just to see, I did some research on this question in advance of this taping. I got on her Twitter account. She has tweeted nothing about wrestling lately. Less than nothing. It's all about Christmas stuff. There's like one or two vague hints about CM Punk.
They're turning her book into a TV show?
Yeah, she's big producer money now.
So she's busy with all that.
Yeah, so unfortunately...
chances are low, as you put it here in the notes, 2% botch.
2% botch. If she accidentally ends up in that ring, that's a possibility, I guess.
Pretty much the only way it would happen, unfortunately, but I'd love to see it happen. She's phenomenal. Next from Richard Morris. See what Richard Morris has to say.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Stephen Larson, Richard Morris here with another Matt Chat question. I'm going to keep it short this week. Steve zoned out during my question last week. After seeing Asuka give AJ Styles last night on SmackDown that look of who the heck are you, and then continuing online with their Twitter war, what do you think of intergender matches coming back? Not all the time, not to the extent that they were before, but special showcases. Becky versus Seth would be amazing. I think an Asuka versus AJ match would be amazing. So just your thoughts. Too sweet, hearty handshake. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard Morris.
Thank you, Richard Morris. I think we'd both be in favor of limited intergender wrestling.
Man, there's got to be at
when
least
it matters.
One intergender match I could see happening between now and 2024 in the WWE. I mean, the next 5 years, man. Something's got to happen. And I'm not talking about like Becky versus, what was it? Was it Becky versus Ellsworth that one time? I'm not talking about that.
You're talking like Becky versus Seth Rollins.
Like a legitimate match. Yeah, I could see something like that happening. Look, man, this All Elite Wrestling thing, it's going to kick things up a notch with WWE. They're going to have to start getting creative, WWE is.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see that maybe happening. Like, or even maybe in the cruiserweight division where it's all about flippy, jumpy stuff. None of this power moves. No, nobody's getting power bomb. Nobody's taking a stiff punch to the jaw. None of that stuff. It's all about the flippy, mat-based wrestling, maybe. Something like that. Or maybe we'll see over in the UK, Jazzy Gabert.
Yeah.
She's big, tough gal.
Yeah.
I could see her laying the beat down on a Ligero, maybe.
Flash Morgan Webster.
Flash Morgan Webster. Or Jordan Devlin.
Mark Andrews.
There you go. Oh, man. So, yeah, I could see that happening to any number of guys there. So, possibility, next 5 years, maybe one match.
Yeah.
That's kind of the extent of it.
Yeah.
Though. Yeah. It's not, you don't even see it like 2018. It seemed like there was a chunk of time, like a 4-month period, when there was like a ton of, like, it was just Jordan Grace versus every big dude in the indie scene.
Yeah.
And then it sort of just died down.
Yeah, I know.
And it's not like you see anybody else do it. It's not like Ring of Honor's doing it or Impact is doing it.
Yeah.
Nobody else is really doing it. So.
Yeah, I know.
So, I don't know. I think it would start there. I would have, like, back when that was happening a lot, 6 months ago, like, wasn't there was it Deonna Purrazzo? Didn't she have, like, an intergender match?
Yeah, I think so.
Against somebody.
Was it Brian Cage?
Was it Brian Cage? Maybe it was that match. Like, it was happening here and there. You'd hear about it. And I was thinking, man, if this really turns into a thing, if Ring of Honor picks up on her Impact, then I could see it years down the line.
Well, you know, he used to do a lot of intergender matches.
Candice LeRae.
Lucha Underground.
Oh, yeah, right. And look at them now. So, it's, you know, it's not a great spot. You know, you can't argue with that logic.
Guess not.
They did a lot, and look at them. They're not even.
They might not be
all they're
promotion
doing is,
anymore.
All they're doing is holding people hostage with those contracts.
Next, Christopher Ramprasad. See what Christopher Ramprasad has to say.
Hello, Stephen Larson. Can you power rank what stupid things Vince will make heavy machinery do?
Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you, Christopher Ramprasad.
So, what other dumb stuff can Vince make heavy machinery do? You have an answer you wrote down here. What is it?
I can't say that on camera though.
Well, you can say poop.
Eat literal shit.
And then you just said it. Poop.
I don't know, man. I don't get what is the Otis? What is that? And then they're just making some weird concoction backstage. Like, he's just diving into the comedy of the absurd with these guys. Like,
I think that's giving Vince too much credit, though.
Is he going to start doing some, like, Monty Python stuff with them?
They're going to start eating boogers or something like that. That's what it's going to be. Otis is going to pick his nose and eat it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with it. I don't know. You know, they weren't even really over in NXT.
No.
Like,
no.
Like, do they have to send everybody?
Is Otis going to take an eclair out of the trash can and eat it?
Yeah. Like, is Otis going to strip naked in the ring or something?
I don't know.
Like, he'll tuck it, start doing a dance. It's like, hey, Tucky, look, I tucked it. Tucky. I don't know, man. Like, at some point, don't you just release some guys and say, hey, you know what, man? This is basically the best we're going to get out of you. You got it. You go to AEW. Maybe they can figure it out.
I mean, at least Steaks and Weights was something. They like to work out and they like to eat beef.
Yeah, but that's got to have a ceiling, right? It's
got NXT was a ceiling.
It's got a lower ceiling than Mandy Rose.
But then now it's just like they'll shovel any garbage in their mouth now. Is that what it is?
Is that where it's headed? That's
maybe.
a good point.
Put anything in a blender and Otis will drink it.
They're just going to be like, they're going to be the wrestling Fear Factor.
Yeah, there you go.
They're
that's
like,
it.
Hey, Tucky, I found a lizard outside. Hey, Tucky, I found a rat.
I went to the pet store and bought this bag of grasshoppers.
Hey, Tucky, look. Old shit.
It's dry and hard. He breaks it off like a cracker.
Look, it's old shit, Tucky.
Found a log of old white dog shit. Oh, goodness. All right, I got a couple text questions. First from Joshua, the Dynamic Knight Martinez. He asks, who will be the next underrated wrestler from the WWE that leaves for better opportunities somewhere else, excluding the revival? Oh, it's Finn Balor. He doesn't have all the titles. He's being underutilized.
Get
He's going
out of
someplace
here
else.
with that.
No, it's Mike Kanellis.
It was a great answer. You're
Mike
right.
Kanellis. It's Mike Kanellis.
The only one on 205 Live for it. Dude's like 6'2".
I know.
He's like, he wrestles like just traditional pro wrestling.
204.9999 pounds.
Get out of here with that Kanellis stuff, man. That dude could be a star. Him and Maria Kanellis. Are you kidding me? Oh, man.
He goes to AEW. Club goes over there.
Mm-hmm. Recreate this stuff.
That's what I'm talking about. What do you got?
Drew Gulak.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
I thought they were going to put that title on him.
Seemed like it.
And look, if the rumors are true that they're going to put Kushida on 205 Live, straight to 205 Live, maybe that means they're just investing a lot more into 205 Live and they're going to try to really boost those ratings. I mean, that's a possibility. I'm not sure, if what else it needs to maybe go on before SmackDown Live, like, tape it
You know what? If Kushida does sign with WWE and that's the plan, I hope he's aware of that before he signs that contract.
Hey, man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't tell you. Maybe, hey, you're always talking about people wanting to take on the challenge of building something.
I do.
205 Live.
I know. That's
205
kind of
Live.
the ultimate challenge right now in terms
really
of WWE.
Is. Everybody rolls their eyes when they say 205 Live. That's terrible because it's like really good matches.
It is really good matches.
But what's the but then? What's the but? But
it's just not a good vibe.
It's not a good vibe.
The show does not have a good vibe. It was getting there when they were doing it before SmackDown.
Yeah, but the ratings
when Mustafa was there,
the ratings are still crap.
Once Mustafa left, vibe wasn't there. Then now they're going to start doing it after SmackDown. The vibe's going to be gone.
Yeah.
Apparently the Buddy Murphy Humberto Carrillo match is really good. I haven't watched it as of us doing this yet.
Apparently it was really good, and apparently the crowd reaction was not really good. Or maybe by the end it was. Maybe Cody
Yeah,
Wells
I think
said
it was
that.
by the end, but early on it was not.
Yeah. Next up, we've got Zach S. What a bummer. He sent us a text question, no video question. I missed my Zach Stolpa. He says, who is the indie wrestling Mount Rushmore? He says his personal list is AJ Styles, the Young Bucks, CM Punk, and Samoa Joe, guys who made huge inroads in the indie circuits before cashing in for big paydays later on.
We agree on two, and I think these are no-brainers. The Young Bucks.
Oh, for sure.
And Joey Ryan.
Yeah, Joey Ryan's probably like the Washington. Like, he's suit top. To me, he's one of the founders of PWG.
Yeah.
And, well, while he's wrestled, dark matches, he had a stint in Impact.
Brief
stint in Impact.
He's more or less spent his entire career in the independent circuit.
And he's still
made
going
a living
strong,
at it. Yes.
and he still loves it.
I mean, you can credit the Young Bucks with showing independent wrestlers that they can have a really good career, make a lot of money on the indies.
Absolutely.
Without Joey Ryan, I feel like paving the way for that.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
One of the next members, one of the next guys on my Mount Rushmore of indie wrestling would definitely be Colt Cabana. Now, granted, he had a short stint in WWE as Scotty Goldman, but given that his podcast kind of started the whole wrestling podcast thing in the first place, The Art of Wrestling, which is still a terrific show. You know, that dude proved that, hey, there's another aspect of wrestling that people are absolutely into. They want to know more about, and in a very specific way, the podcast genre.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and dude, you know, he's all over the place selling merch. You know, he's fantastic.
Yeah. I'll say you got to put one of the founding fathers of Ring of Honor on here. I went with Bryan Danielson. It's
a good one.
CM Punk, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe. They all moved on to Impact or WWE by the mid-aughts. Daniel Bryan stuck around until I think about 2010. He was in Ring of Honor for like, I don't know, 8 years, something like that.
Yeah, I think he said, yeah.
And not only was he a talent there, he was one of the instructors in their dojo.
Yeah.
Massively influential wrestler.
I started the showcase mode just to try to unlock some cutscenes for the stuff. And he was talking about he literally got signed in 2000 by WWE. That first stint he did there, and he says, yeah, they just ended up releasing me because, you know, they didn't have anything for me. And then he went to Ring of Honor, spent 7 or 8 years there, and then, you know, back to WWE, released back to WWE, you know, after
forced to retire.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that was interesting stuff. I've also got Christopher Daniels on my list.
Good choice.
Because he never had, I mean, obviously he had a great stint in TNA.
He was supposed to be the higher power.
He was supposed to be a big deal in WWE, yeah. But he was apparently too short, according to Vince McMahon, which is really silly considering
ridiculous
where wrestling has gone. But
yes,
that's the thing about him, though. He number one, he doesn't age. And number two, talk about a guy who was way ahead of his time. Like, if you look at who he's associating with now, man, if he was born 10 years later, he would be huge.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look, he's had a career that any wrestler should die for, would absolutely die for. But he's like 48 now. And if he was 38 now, dude, he'd be snapped up by NXT.
Yeah.
I would be stunned if WWE didn't reach out to him even now for a role in NXT as, like, you know, player coach. And he was like, no, I can still be super relevant in AEW and help build that.
Yeah.
Which is a smart move on his part. Them getting SCU is so awesome.
Oh, it is.
It's
it really
really
is. I thought about Christopher Daniels. Instead, I went with Low Key.
Oh, man. Love him.
You know, his stints on the independent circuit might have been more at a necessity as opposed to maybe desire on his part, because he seems to burn bridges all over the place.
Well, here's the thing about him. This is my take on it. That dude does it his way, or he doesn't do it.
Sometimes his way involves like kicking people in the head. However,
yeah, I know. And then he just shanked Conan, but I think that was fake.
But you look at so he was Ring of Honor champ in the early aughts. He's the current MLW champ. Everywhere he's gone, he's won titles.
Talk
basically,
about a dude who doesn't age.
Yeah. And he wins championships everywhere he goes. He has been, for the most part, on the independent ranks for the better part of 15 years. So,
and here's
that
the thing.
means something.
Doing it his way, he still does it that way. Like, you look at his recent stint in Impact. And I forget the story behind it, or the alleged story behind it, that they were thinking of putting the world title on him, and then they like swapped him out for Alberto or something like that. And he's like, yeah, okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm leaving now. Number one, he was one of the coolest things about that run in Impact. He was fantastic.
Yeah.
He was so good as part of LAX. He's so much fun. Yeah, I mean, does he? There was a match I saw. I forget who it was, but it was Low Key and somebody else. And the other guy was working seemingly just as stiff as him. And in matches like that, it just works. It works so well. It's just, I don't think anybody wanted to work that way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But man, no, I like Low Key a lot. I think he's had one of the more interesting careers.
Oh, definitely.
In that dude, he just did it his way. And if he didn't like what they were throwing at him, he just, okay, well, I'm leaving now.
He was the very first Ring of Honor world champ.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go then.
So he's the first Ring of Honor champ, and he's the current MLW champ.
Like, he just showed, like, in New Japan, he's in New Japan, and he he starts wearing a suit and tie, and they're like, well, that's not cool. He's like, no, it's super cool. And they're like, well, we don't want you here anymore. Okay, cool. I want to wear my suit and tie because I think it's super cool. I'm leaving now. So I don't know, man. I think he's probably one of the more misunderstood wrestlers.
Oh, it could be.
But no, I appreciate that guy. I mean, I don't know him, but I don't know. I kind of appreciate a guy who's just, hey, I'm going to do it my way. And if you don't like that, too bad. I'm going to do it my way. And if you don't like that, goodbye. So, yeah. Anyways. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Cool, man.
That's the show.
All right. Anyways, that's it. If y'all want to be involved, patreon.com/Steven Larson. Thanks for watching. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.